Tonight on KGW News, a teenager helps usher families to safety during a shooting at a mall trick-or-treat event.
That was their first Halloween. They'll be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Plus, a dangerous spot as a police officer responding to one crash becomes the victim in another. And later, a soccer legend takes to the pitch in Portland for what could be the last time. How fans sent Christine Sinclair out in style. And thanks for joining us for KGW News at 11. I'm John Adams, in tonight for David. We begin with the latest on the deadly shooting inside the Vancouver Mall during a trick-or-treat event. A warning, new video shows the chaos following that shooting. Some may find it hard to watch. Our Alma McCarty spoke tonight with one of the mall employees who helped families get to safety.
Before parts of the Vancouver Mall turned into a crime scene. This was the scene Thursday. Dozens of families going store to store, trick-or-treating for candy Halloween night.
We figured it was safer than the neighborhood.
It was honestly quite sad. There were so many kids in the mall.
And 16-year-old Bronwyn Cruden was here, working at her family's escape room. The sound of gunfire captured on cameras inside the business.
You see myself hesitate for way longer than I feel I should have, but I immediately locked the door because I've been in this situation before.
That time, she says, they sheltered in place when someone brought a gun to the mall. But Thursday's incident felt more chaotic.
I actually went back up to the front and unlocked the door for people to come in, a family. They had 5 kids with them. One of them, the dad was holding a baby, and one of the kids was just asking what's happening, what's going on, and the mom was like, don't worry about it, we just need to get out, we'll worry about it later.
Cell phone video from the food court shows first responders tending to one of the victims. His crime tape surrounds empty tables. Vancouver police called it a targeted attack, with the suspect wearing a Halloween-type mask, shooting and killing an adult male in this part of the mall. The 2 other men, 30 and 40 years old, who were injured, were not the intended targets, but instead just happened to be nearby.
How terrible that must have been for their kids to watch and see that, and how many kids were at the mall that just that was their first Halloween. They'll be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Vancouver police are still looking for the shooter tonight and haven't released any more details about them, nor have they identified the victim. Meantime, Cruden and her family say they're donating 100% of their proceeds over the next week to the victims and their families. John?
Such bravery shown by that teenager. All right, Alma, thank you. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Gresham police have arrested a man that sparked a roughly 6-hour search this afternoon. Police say the man took off from a traffic stop shortly before noon near 222nd and Bona Park Road near Damascus. They say the driver led officers on a chase, crashed, then got out and ran. Officers thought the man had a gun, so they called in the SWAT team and surrounded the area, telling neighbors to shelter inside their homes. That notice was lifted around 7 tonight. We're still working to learn more details about the suspect. A deadly rollover crash has closed I-205 in West Lynn tonight. This is video of the backup from traffic cameras. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue said they pulled one person from a car who died at the scene. Right now, all lanes on I-205 North, 1 mile south of Abernathy Road, are closed. Plan to use another route or expect delays. And the woman accused of driving under the influence and crashing into a Vancouver home, killing a woman, pleaded guilty today. Karen Baker was sentenced to 8 years and 4 months in prison. Family and friends of the victim, Daniel Abrams, were in the courtroom today and were hoping for a longer sentence.
I think it just made me angry because she did show up to every court appearance, smiling, laughing, joking with the judge. She never seemed to really show any emotion up until today.
In August of 2023, Baker lost control of her car as she was speeding and slammed into the living room of Abrams' house. Abrams was sitting on her couch when she and her dog were killed.
New tonight, body cam video shows the moment a Portland police vehicle with an officer inside was sideswiped by a suspected drunk driver. This happened Wednesday night around 9 p.m. as officers responded to a crash on I-5 near Multnomah Boulevard. Coincidentally, officers were chatting about another police vehicle that had been hit 2 weeks prior, just minutes before this incident happened.
When I'm sitting in the car, always wear my seatbelt on the highway.
PPB says the driver that hit the police cruiser was speeding. The driver pulled over and was quickly arrested for DUII. The officer that was in the vehicle during the collision was treated at the hospital for back pain.
Portland City Council is set to discuss a proposal next week to end their homeless services agreement with the county. And today, the Multnomah County Chair released a statement slamming that idea. Jessica Vega-Peterson said severing ties would lead to more people on the streets and fewer services in shelters. She also calls it bad for the community and believes it would halt the progress seen over the last few months. Commissioners Renee Gonzalez, Mingus Mapps, and Dan Ryan asked the city attorney to come up with an ordinance to end the city's contract to fund the Joint Office of Homeless Services. They argued it gives the city little power to make decisions and questioned how the money was being used. The current contract has only been in place since July. We'll be sure to follow up next week and let you know what they decide. Well, the election is just a few days away now, and an issue with counting ballots in Clackamas County appears to be resolved. Since last week, the mail ballot sorter had been malfunctioning and broke down several times. This caused a delay in the first stage of ballot processing, where barcodes are scanned and signatures are checked. County officials say a vendor came in last night and fixed the machine. And we will be here for you next Tuesday night with election coverage streaming for free on KGW+. KGW anchors David Molko and Laurel Porter will be joined by political analysts to break down the results as we get them for all the key races, both local and national. Our team of reporters will also be spread out across the region covering election night parties. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And remember, you can download KGW Plus app on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV.